And so the first way that the enemy can get you to try to take away your wisdom is lack of use. You got to use it or you got to lose it. If I don't use the wisdom I have, it leaks out. If I read a book that is really great, but I don't think about those concepts or talk about it with somebody or implement some of those things in my life, they leak and they drip out. And so I need to be very, very intentional about using the wisdom that God has given me. How many times have we read a book or heard a sermon or heard something and we thought, oh, that is a fantastic idea. But then we don't act on it. Or we try it a little bit and it doesn't quite go how we think, and so we just kind of give up because it's work. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. So you've got to get the knowledge first, and then you can begin to implement the wisdom. And so you need knowledge before you get wisdom, but it's not enough. In order for you to really benefit from wisdom, you got to hold on to it and you got to practice it. Practice ensures the use of wisdom. I just read in a book the other day that they recommend that you practice dialing 911. Because when we are in a high intense situation, our brains get so focused that it's not at all uncommon for people to forget the number 911. And psychologists say that it's because when you are in a super stress situation, your heartbeat is 190 beats per minute, that you get tunnel vision and you get more primitive. This is why in intense situations, and this was looking at like police shootings, when police officers, it was actually a wallet, but turned out to, or it was actually they thought it was a gun, but it turned out to be a wallet. And how does that happen? That it's because of this tunnel vision. And so you've got to practice. I know that when I play my guitar, now I'm not a great guitar player, and part of the reason is because I haven't practiced it enough. I learned just enough to do what I gotta do, and I'm trying to change that. I'm practicing my scales, but I've discovered that it's like there's a little brain inside of my hand that has to learn the chords, that has to learn the scales. And I can look at a sheet and I can see where all the notes go, but my hand, it's like it's in mud, and it just isn't natural. And as I practice, it's like my hand just learns it all on its own. Practice is what it takes to get wisdom, because otherwise, we learn wisdom of how to handle circumstances and relationships. And then something blows up. Well, what tends to happen? Well, everything we learned goes right out the window, and we launch into it just like we always did, and then after we look back and say, oh, you know what? I didn't handle that right. I should have handled that differently. Practice is the only way that you can ensure that wisdom becomes second nature in the moments that it takes, that it's the most important. Those moments when wisdom is the most important are the moments when we need to have practiced it so that it's already there. So dealing with people, it has to be intentional. And the enemy, if he can get you to not use your wisdom, to not engage your wisdom, to let it drip out and leak out, then a week, a month, a year down the road, when that wisdom was going to change your life because you handled the situation right, because you had a brilliant idea, because something happened, you were second nature in doing something, was able to make a blink decision that changed everything, that'll be stolen away from you if you don't practice wisdom, if you don't hold on to it and not let it leak out.